Welcome to the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, James Anderson, and I've got a multi-time guest, Tim McLeod, coming back on the show with me tonight. Always love talking with Tim about the players coming from Asia every offseason. Tim's great at all aspects of fantasy baseball, but especially attuned to what's happening over there. So thanks, Tim, for joining me. How you doing, man?
I am just doing great, James. Thanks so much for having me on. I look forward to this podcast every year. It seems like within a couple of weeks of, towards the middle end of November, and start reviewing some of the Asian players heading back. And there's a slew of them this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a loaded year. And I thought it would be good for us to just kind of go in order the way these guys are getting drafted right now. Mm-hmm. I'm in my first DC of the official offseason right now in the second round of that one. So people are drafting, people are eyeing these guys up. And I want to start with Tatsuya Imai, pitcher that I've talked about briefly with Eno Saris on last week's episode, but I think it's worth leading off with Imai. We're always looking for impact pitching. Whenever we can get it in our drafts, upside pitching, strikeouts, etc. What's your evaluation of Imai, Tim, and what do you think is in store for him in 2026?
I think there's a lot of good things in store, James. One of the individuals in Japan that I've been following for years, Jim Allen. He used to be with the Yomiuri newspaper there, and he's got his own site. And he was asked about my stuff, and the pure stuff is as good as Yamamoto. The command and control is not at the same level, but over the past couple of years, he's definitely taken some steps to head in the right direction. We've seen comments about his size. Well, he's an inch taller than Yamamoto and weighs about the same. And I think it's worked out pretty good for Yamamoto so far. So I'm rather bullish. And I think at his current ADP, I think there's a potential for a bargain sitting there.
Yeah. That's, I have a feeling his current ADP, I referenced to the sheet I shared with Tim. He's been going in the around 215 overall in the last month or so of the 15-team draft champions leagues. Imai, certainly the best pitcher coming over, and I agree with Tim. I think I'd be eyeing him inside the top 200 at this point. What did you think about? I loved the fact that he basically said he doesn't want to sign with the Dodgers because he wants to beat the guys on the Dodgers. Not that, not a shot at those guys, but basically, I don't need their help. I want to take them down.
Yeah. It's funny. I knew exactly where you were going with this question almost before you got going. Yeah, no, he's. I like it. He's got a little bit of attitude, and he's done some things in Japan that are worrying of it. He throws three low 3/4 actually delivery, but he works in the 95, 96 range. You can bring it up close to triple digits, but if you're looking to see something you don't see every day, he's got a pitch that they're calling a singer, but actually what it is it's a Vulcan change. I don't know. Are you familiar with that pitch? Have you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's crazy stuff, isn't it?
It's the stuff these guys throw. It just always blows my mind, man.
Well, yeah, it totally does. But I like the kid a lot, and when you look at this year, he tossed a combined hitter in April, okay, and topped that one off in June. Threw a complete 9-inning game, allowed 2 hits, no walks, and struck out 17. I strongly believe this guy's the real deal, and I will probably, just because in so many of my leagues, I won't have the opportunity to roster him in my dynasty leagues because of draft position. I'm probably going to move him up a couple of rounds because I want at least 1 or 2 shares in some redraft leagues, and now is the right opportunity to do that. When he's sitting down in the teen rounds, I have no problems moving him up into the 8th, 9th round and taking him as a number 3 type starter.
And I'm sure you agree with me that the price is going to just keep going up, and especially once he signs, and especially if he signs with a team in a nice park, say San Francisco, perhaps, Mets, Padres. I'm not expecting him to go to a bad team in a cozy park.
No, I'm not either, but it's also interesting because he said that his preference right now is to go to a team that doesn't have any Japanese players on it, which I found very intriguing. So, yeah, hey, start going through the rosters and putting lines through all of them. Hey, it's I have no idea where he's going to go. Not a clue. My gut feeling is I think the Jays might have a shot here, simply because of the strong 2025, and I think it'd be a good fit. But again, the Giants. There are a lot of teams I think that would want his services.
So the other guy going just inside or just outside the top 200 in these recent DCs is probably the more famous of the players coming over, Munetaka Murakami, the power hitting corner infielder from Japan. He's been on the radar for a while. You and I have talked about him in past years.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited about the power, seeing some like 70 grades, 80 grades thrown out there. But it seems like the closer he is to signing, the more concerns are being raised about Murakami's hit tool and the way that's trending.
Well, yeah, and there's definitely reason to like that power potential, and at the same time, there's reason to be a little bit concerned with the hit tool. Yeah, but last year he struck out 64 times in 187 at bats. Well, you multiply that by 3, that becomes a pretty big number, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and in addition to that, his K rates over the past 3 seasons, 28-1, 29-5, 28-6. And what I find a little bit alarming is the fact that he struck out 41.7% of the time against fastballs with 93 or better velocity. That could be a concern. I'm starting to get the feeling that the high side potential is a 2017, 2018 Joey Gallo comp. What say you, James? What do you think?
The more I hear you and others talk about him, I think I'd be hoping that whichever team signs him is able to make an adjustment, or perhaps like I know he was a little banged up the past year, like maybe it was just kind of he was getting complacent. I don't like the version of the hitter that he was this last year. Like, if everything stays the same, I don't want that player at his current price. So I would assume.
I agree wholeheartedly. I share your thoughts to a T. I mean, on a positive note, though, he is only 25, turning 26 next year. So again, depending on where he ends up, depending on the hitting coach, the team philosophy, I certainly wouldn't rule out success for a player who's already hit 246 home runs in Japan before his 26th birthday. So again, I don't want to sound all negative, but I do have some serious concerns, and they're going to stay there until we see him on the field.
How about this one for a quick? I'll just put you on the spot really quick, Tim.
Okay.
Murakami versus Mark Vientos, another power hitting third baseman who's going kind of in the same range. I think they're both going just outside the top 200. Vientos, who knows if he gets to play every day, but he did have a really good year a couple years ago, and then the projections kind of like him already this year.
Yeah, I'm staying away from Vientos. The Mets have already made 2 deals in the past 3-4 days. I don't know what's going to be happening. I don't have a real solid feel for what the Mets are going to do. Okay, and as a result of that, I'm going to shy away from Vientos at this time. And, you look at first base, and there's about 8 to 10 I like, and the rest I'm going to pass. So I'm probably going to be looking at trying to secure that position in the first 5-6 rounds, so I'm not stuck making some of those decisions that I'll just be making them at outfield instead of first base.
Yeah, so you're gonna take whatever's behind door number 3 for that question.
Or the curtain. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, now Kazuma Okamoto, Tim, another corner infielder coming over. He's going over 100 picks after Imai and Murakami, going in like the mid 300s. What's your evaluation of Okamoto, and how do you think he'll produce in year 1?
I think if this stays true to what we're seeing thus far, I will have him on every single one of my redraft teams, James. Yeah, he's a really good player. He went from 2018 through to 23, 6 years. He hit at least 30 homers every year. Okay, in 2025, he hit 15 and a half a season. And right now, Japan is the consummate. They're in a dead ball era. Okay, the one division, I think they only had 3 players that had 20 or more home runs. And again, that's something I think that when you look at pitching, we have to factor into the equation. Is you look at some of the ERAs, and an ERA of low 2s in Japan this year didn't quite cut it, I don't think, into a top 10 starter ERA wise. There's a slew of players with ERAs in the 1 range this year. As far as the reason for the half season, he was playing first base, and he went with one of those swipe tags and got his elbow run over. Basically, he's healthy now, but he was the captain on the Giants team, which, if you want to relate it to North American ball, he would be the Derek Jeter or equivalent. He, well-respected player. He can play, and he's defensively a better player than Murakami at either first or third. He walks. I guess when looking at those 2 players, I look at Okamoto, and I see a very safe floor. I think there's 25-90 type potential with a solid batting average. Now, the ceiling isn't the equivalent to Murakami, but it's whether or not you want the safe floor and the lower ceiling, or if you want to gamble a bit more and look at that pure raw power from Murakami. I like Okamoto a lot. And like I said, he's probably going to be on a fair number of my teams this year.
Well, yeah, just hearing you describe the 2 guys, I think preferring him straight up over Murakami, preferring Okamoto straight up over Murakami, to me makes sense, because you're talking about the ceiling of Murakami, but it's sort of, you almost got to squint to kind of see the batting average being high enough for the ceiling to be high enough, Yeah,
well, we all remember Joey Gallo in those 40 home run seasons. They were accompanied by a 203 batting average.
Yeah, those seasons weren't on too many winning rosters.
No, balance was not part of the equation. I really like Okamoto. I think he's going to be a solid acquisition wherever he lands. And again, right now, if you ask me, I would take him heads up over Murakami in a draft, and I don't have to do that right now. Okay, so for me, I've got to get into one of those 50-team draft and holds over at the NFBC, so I can start amassing some shares, I think, James.
Now, Tim, what do you make of Kona Takahashi, who I think it was reported this week that he was getting posted as well, another pitcher coming over?
I don't take a whole lot right now. Things were looking promising after 22 and 23, but then came 2024. he bounced back somewhat this year, but the strikeout rate continues to fall. We only had 88 last year and 148 innings pitched. I think he's probably going to be looking at a minor league deal. That's my thoughts right now, and an opportunity with the right pitching coach to look at a back of the rotation type starter. So at this time, my interest in Takahashi is minimal at best, James.
So I'm pretty interested in Cody Ponce, who, he was, I know of Cody from when he was a prospect with the Brewers and other teams, etc. Just big 6'6", wanted to see if that fastball velocity would really pop. And he went over to Asia, coming off just a monster year in the KBO, and it seems like his stuff is improving. How interested are you in Ponce coming over?
I'm very interested. I've heard people say that the velocity is up a tick. Well, I've watched enough film that if that's your definition of a tick, okay, yeah, that's a big tick for me. He's hitting as high as 97 on the gun. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 or 3 ticks up on the velocity. And again, he's coming back home with another new pitch in the splitter, and it's turned into a plus pitch for him. I think he struck out 252 for a new record in the KBO. The numbers speak for themselves. I am rather bullish on Cody Ponce. And again, right now, if you're drafting early, like, what are you paying for him? Next to nothing. I'll take a year of Eric Fetty out of Cody Ponce.
Oh yeah,
if that makes sense. You know what I mean? For our purposes.
Right. We talked about Fetty before he came over. That was a really good value. His price never got expensive. Ponce is going in the 400s right now, but I think he's the type of guy where he could go, really wide range still at this point in draft season. There might be someone in your draft that just really wants him. Hearing us talk or hearing other people talk about him, but I think he should be going closer to like pick 300 than like he's going around pick 444 right now.
Yeah. If I can pick him up in the low to mid 300s right now, again, he'll be another player that I'm going to have on an awful lot of teams. He's big, strong, the velocity, everything came together for him last year, and I'm happy for the kid, and I'm sure he's going to get a contract and be a part of somebody's rotation in 2026.
Exactly, and just a lot of the guys that are getting drafted in the early 300s aren't even guaranteed to break camp in a rotation, and Ponce is going to have a lot of offers. Multi-year offers. He's going to break camp in a rotation.
Yeah, I have no doubts. Like I said, if I'm looking at Cody Ponce, if I'm drafting him as a number 6-7 starter, I like that. I like it a lot, James.
All right, Tim, who's another player coming over that we should be on the lookout for?
Well, there's a pile of pitching, and I guess maybe the first guy we can mention is a guy that you mentioned last year. I didn't know all that much about him, but I'm giving you full credit for this one. You were a year early on him, James, but Foster Griffin. The only question I have per se is the durability, but the Southpaw posted a 162 over ERA over only 14 starts, 78 innings, but hey, left-handed pitching, he's going to get a contract somewhere. And again, in 50-player draft and holds, deeper formats, and I think he's somebody that's worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I know I'm not necessarily going to be drafting Griffin, but like I think he's going in the right place. Like he's going late, and he's going I'll be interested to see where he signs, because like you said, like he's probably going to sign with someone. He's probably going to be in a rotation. He might not stay in the rotation all season, but even just having a guy that you can spot start 5 or 6 times throughout the year, and favorable matchups could be useful.
I think he's going to make everybody's waiver wire at least once.
Of course,
year.
he's gonna be all over the waiver wire. He's gonna be picked up.
At some point in time, he'll pitch 2 great games back to back, and kiss your fab goodbye, right?
Yeah. Who else do you want to talk about?
Another Southpaw, Anthony Kay.
Yeah.
Like 31 in March, and last year he posted a 174 ERA over 155 innings pitched. I believe the last team he was with in North America was the Jays, I think. I could be wrong. But he's 31 in March. He's a lefty. And he posted a NPB best 57.8 ground ball rate. That's good, right?
Yeah, I saw that. That really jumped out to me.
Yeah, like that's a big number. He had a really, really good year, and I'm happy for him. And hopefully it leads to a back of the rotation gig for 26. But nobody's talking right now about Anthony Kay.
No, not at all. I might even take K. Like if I were just looking for a spec at the end of a draft right now, I might take K over Griffin. At least, of the two guys, I'm not 100% sure if I ever ranked Foster Griffin on the top 400. He might have. He was probably sniffing around like the Royals top 20 way back in the day, but I definitely ranked Anthony Kay on the top 400 at times. Yeah. Not very high, but he was at least like a legitimate, potential number 5 starter as a prospect. And big teams love these lefty starters.
Well, and you know what? I take a look at the 155 innings pitched, and that brings a smile to my face. And then it would be one reason that I would definitely take Kay over Griffin is the durability question marks, and the fact that I think Anthony Kay can give you 150 to 175 innings, and I don't feel the same way about Foster Griffin right now. He had a great year, but again, 78 innings pitched or 155. That seems like a fairly easy decision to me. I'll go with the durability every day.
Yeah, totally. Especially for this player type, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this next player, I believe there was a year that he led the minor leagues in total strikeouts, if I'm not mistaken. Jon Duplantier is returning, former Arizona Diamondbacks farmhand, I guess I didn't even realize he was coming back over. What do you got to say about Jon?
Well, again, another one coming off a great year. He posted a 139 ERA over 90 innings pitched, 113 Ks, only 20 walks. I can remember, and actually, I was talking to Peter Kreitzer about this. We saw him in Arizona, in the Arizona Fall League back in the day. And Peter was telling me that the next year he had him on a lot of his dynasty keeper teams after what we saw in Arizona. And he almost looked like the opposite arm Madison Bumgarner. Okay, he had that cock when he'd, bring his arm back and that slight delay and across his body. And it just never came to fruition for him. He had a couple of good years, and then everything just sort of stalled. And going over to Japan looks like it's given him an opportunity to return this year. And it's a long road. And am I suggesting that you draft him? No, I don't know what the interest level is going to be. All I know is he had a very good year last year, and we've seen a lot of pitchers come over after good years. Merrill Kelly's enjoyed a nice little career in Arizona. So I think there'll be interest in him. And I think once you get into like a 50-player draft and holds, he's a guy I'd toss a dart at after the 40th, 45th round as a late pick. So just somebody to keep your eye on and track right now.
Yeah. And, he's dealt with his share of durability issues, but
Mhm.
great to see that he's coming off. I mean, for him, 90 innings in a season's not too bad. So at least he theoretically could get you over 100 innings. Now I was gonna talk about this guy, but then right as I had him on the sheet, saw a report that he's not coming over or he signed. But Lewin Diaz.
Okay.
Do you want to just give a shout out to former Twins prospect?
Yeah, I liked Lewin Diaz. I like that power potential, and I didn't know. I hadn't seen anything as to whether he was interested in returning or not. But man, he had a monster season in Korea. 50 homers, 158 RBIs. He finished 14 up in the home run race and 50 RBIs ahead of the second place finisher. Yeah, it was a great year for Lewin Diaz, and I just wanted to bring him up, but
Yeah.
if you've heard he's not coming back,
I think there was honestly, like, it was today.
Okay.
It was like as I was putting it on the sheet, I think I saw Morosi report that he was re-signing in the KBO.
Okay.
Yeah, he re-signed on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal to stay in the KBO. I would, if you're the clear best power hitter in a league and teams aren't willing to give you a guaranteed 7-figure deal to come back stateside, you might want to stay there.
Yeah, I was going to say another year of even, 35 to 40 home runs, 100 RBIs. That will get him a contract, I would think, after next season. And why would he want to take a minor league deal to return when you're like you said, hey, you own the power game in Korea. Enjoy it, right?
Right. Okay, where do you want to go next here, Tim?
Where do I want to? There's a slew of names here. This kid sort of intrigues me. He's from the CPBL, a 25-year-old. His name is Hsi Hsu, I believe. Okay. He had a great 2025 across 19 starts, 2.05 ERA, 28% strikeout rate. The Dodgers are interested in him. So the Dodgers are interested in him. He's got a choice because he's going to be posted, and he'll be posted to both Japan and Major League Baseball. A lot of people are suggesting he should spend some time in Japan before coming over. But if the Dodgers are interested in the right deal is there, he might be a very nice addition to a major league team in a bullpen capacity, not per se in a starting role. So he's just a guy that is going to be posted, and he'll either be in Major League Baseball or Japan. He's coming off a really good year, 25 years old. He's a player that I think in deeper leagues, he's worth tracking, James.
That's Hsi Hsu from China, and I will be putting all the spellings of these names in the description of the episode and everything like that. So for people that are worried at home about how to spell something, just check the episode description.
And I hope I get most of the pronunciations right. I've got a favorite site that I go to for pronunciations. And occasionally I forget them by the time I've said them enough to actually have it sink into the old noggin. So hopefully I've got most of the names pronounced right.
Well, we appreciate you at least making the effort, Tim. Okay, so Sung-Mun Song. Believe I've actually got him on a dynasty team that I co-manage with someone else who picked him up. So I'd love for you to tell me about Song and why we should continue to hold on to this guy.
Well, it's sort of interesting. If you go and you take a look at the numbers, up until 2 years ago, they didn't really look all that great. Apparently, and this came from an article that I read a while back, he got a little bit serious about the game about 3 years ago. Started working out. He added weight, conditioning. He's a little bit old. He's 29. He turns 30 in August, but the past 2 seasons have been outstanding. They really have. Last year, 26 home runs, 25 stolen bases, and 917 ops. The strikeout to walk, 96 to 68. He's a little bit old. He missed some time because he fulfilled his service requirement earlier in his career, and that cost him a year and a bit. And the fact that I think there was a focus issue also cost him some time. But I like the skills. I think in the right situation, I think he could be an everyday player in Major League Baseball.
Very interesting. So
nobody's talking about him except for you because you've got him stashed somewhere. Good stash. Well done.
I think that's a Eno call.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so do you think he's coming over?
He's going to be posted, and we'll see what the interest level is coming out of Major League Baseball. I don't think it's going to take it's not going to be a huge posting fee, but again, basically it's one of those players we're going to have to sit back and wait and see if Major League Baseball feels as enthusiastic as I do right now, and as enthusiastic as you're hoping everything works out. He's a good little player, and
I appreciate you laying out the backstory there too, to kind of explain why you might be able to look past the age on him.
Again, I started digging into it a little bit deeper, and again, in Korea, everybody has to fulfill a certain military commitments, and he did his in 2021, I think, in those 2 years. So again, that pushes him back a little bit. But I like the player. It's just whether or not Major League Baseball, there'll be that somebody will give him an opportunity. James.
All right, Tim. So who should we be most excited about for coming over in next year or the year after? Best guys to keep an eye on and to stash before they come over in future years.
Well, I think at the top of the list, we should really mention the Sawamura Award winner from this year, Hiromi Ito, 196 and 2/3, K per inning, only 29 walks. Yeah, he was a big gun over there this year, and he has been for a while. He's only had once in his career with an ERA north of 3, and it was a 3.46 a few years ago. I don't know his intentions, but he will definitely, in the next couple years, if he's coming over, that'll probably be the window. And good solid arm. The next guy is the guy that we should all, I think, be very excited about.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. There was rumors that Hiroto Sasaki was going to be posted this year, but no, it's not gonna happen. But he is the real deal. He can bring the velocity up into the high 90s. He's a slider, a curveball, forkballs. The only thing he doesn't throw, I think, is a Vulcan change. At least I couldn't find information on. But high spin rates, they clock in the 2,600 range. Okay. The past 2 years, he's had an ERA under 2 both seasons. If you're looking at a dynasty, an open universe dynasty format, he's one guy that you want to see rostered in that league, James. Definitely.
So Psyche over Ito in a open universe?
Yes, I would say right now. Yeah, it's close because we don't. The one thing we definitely know for certain right now is we know that Sake is he wants to come over. Okay. And that gives him an edge to me. They're both great pitchers, but the fact that he wants to come over, he was denied this year. Assuming we have baseball in 2027, I sort of like the odds of a posting next year. And you look at the numbers, he's the sort of guy that you're going to look at and say, let me see here. Who was I looking at in 2020? Oh, Imai. Okay, he's that caliber of pitcher, top end.
Awesome. That's Hiroto Psyche. I think that was reported maybe less than a month ago that he wasn't coming over, but he does have an ADP, but do not draft him this year.
No, that was probably in one of the first 2 or 3.
Yeah, just people making specs. I mean, even I was in the very first draft of the year, and this next guy got taken in that one. So like then I showed the ADP from it, and then I got questions about, wait, so do you know Hiroya Miyagi's coming over? And I was like, no, that was just the results of a draft. Someone was taking a shot, but
well, you
Hiroya
know what?
Miyagi not coming over this year, but what can you tell us about him?
Southpaw, 2021 Rookie of the Year. He turns 25 next August. What impresses me is the fact he's got a career 248 ERA, and it's over 750 innings pitched. So he's got 750 under his belt as a 24-year-old. I like that, and I like it a lot. And you know, going back to the early NFBC drafts, yeah, that's a time a pick like that at pick 47 can win you a league. You know, because you're looking at a front of the rotation type starter, and you're paying nothing for it. So if I was in that first NFBC draft, I'd probably own most of the guys on this list, James, and be about mid-pack by the time it was all said and done. But I'd have fun doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
One other guy I was going to mention is out of Korea. Won the Rookie of the Year award. Hunmin On, 22-year-old rookie, 2280 with, and this is staggering for a 22-year-old rookie, a 448 OBP. He knows his way around the strike zone just fine. 75 walks, 72 strikeouts. He's a long ways away, probably another 4 years or so. But if you're in the deepest of deepest formats, he's an intriguing option to stash away right now.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I'm not the one to stash guys for like 3-4 years, but I definitely know there are people in my leagues that get a real big kick out of having a guy stashed for multiple years and then having them generate a ton of buzz when they get posted.
I'm at the age where I'm not looking at 5-year projects, James. I'm in full blown win now mode. I like pitchers that go from high A to double A. I draft mainly college kids.
Right.
I don't want a team full of 17-year-olds. That's an easy pass for me.
I definitely respect that. Tim, we talked about this guy last year, Roki Sasaki, probably the year before too, but just a whirlwind season for him. And then we all got to watch him shine on a big stage as a reliever for the Dodgers in the postseason. So I just want to give you a sense of where he's getting drafted. So he's getting drafted recently around pick 160 in draft champions leagues. And so the pitchers that are going around Roki Sasaki are Bubba Chandler, Sandy Alcantara, Nathan Eovaldi, Trevor Rogers, Luis Castillo. Then you got some potential relievers, Ryan Helsley, Daniel Palencia, Dennis Santana. So, he's getting drafted amid kind of that like third tier of closers or so. And then this sort of, SP4-ish type of range. How do you think he's going to get used in 2026? How do you think he should be used? And then what do you think of the price tag?
Well, looking at the list of names there, am I the only person that looked at the numbers that Alcantara posted in the second half, James? I don't like, man, I took a look at those numbers and said, let's hope people in my league scout the stat line and look at that bloated ERA and not look at the second half. I think that's an incredible bargain right now where he's sitting. What say you? Or am I?
Look, I think you're, I think you're spot on there, but I'm sure there's people that initial ADP gets set, and then there's people that probably do value him more than that, but don't want to just jump him up way higher this early in the off season. But
it makes sense, I guess.
I mean, he was a special, as someone that had him on like I had him on like 2 of my 30 teams this year, but it definitely really hurt to have him on those teams.
Yeah, I had no shares. I had no shares last year. I decided to stay away in that first full year coming back.
Very
But
smart.
I was watching every start, and in the second half, I spent a lot of time smiling. So hopefully, it's a keeper league you're in, and you'll get to take advantage of that this year, James.
Yeah, I do have him in some keeper leagues. So
Sweet.
there you go.
Yeah, no, it's get sorry for sort of going a little off track.
That's great.
I'm staying away from Roki Sasaki. I don't know what the Dodgers are going to do. I think they're going to bring in a bullpen arm. I have no idea who. I think Sasaki can close. I don't trust the arm and the health right now. Okay. I think the reason that he's pitching in relief is because I don't know if he's capable of pitching as a number 5 or 6 starter in a rotation. And until I get some definition, I'm not going to go anywhere near Roki Sasaki when I'm looking at the price being above a Chandler or Sandiel Cantera or Eovaldi. Trevor Rogers has had a great run. Luis Castillo. No, I'm going to take the safe route, and I'm going to wait till I get a little bit more definition before I start going in at that price. And I think after the playoffs and that small sample, I think the price will be fairly high. I'm just going to shy away from it at this point in time.
I hate the price. I'm not going anywhere near it. I need to know what I'm buying. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, am I buying a closer? Am I buying a starter? Am I buying a multi-inning reliever? And it's not like the case with like Mason Miller, where like we know Mason Miller is going to be awesome for as long as he's healthy. Whatever role he's in, he's going to be awesome. Like we don't know that from Sasaki. So like I think if I were drafting him there, it would be because I was convinced he was going to be their closer.
Yeah.
I would not be drafting him there under some idea that he's going to get stretched out and throw like 125 innings in the rotation. I just think that you're just kind of taking a really big shot in the top 200 there.
Well, and 125 innings off the top of my head would be a career high in a starting capacity. So I think that does sort of help define that aspect. But Tanner Scott, they're paying him for a couple of years. He's still kicking around. Vesia will be there. They're looking at, they've already said, beefing up the bullpen, and they've got Sasaki, who I think's best role right now is in that bullpen. So that's just way too much to get my attention from an investment point of view, James.
So, Tim, we've done the rookie draft in Arizona in past years in person, we've talked about our results in person, but
it's always a fun time.
Now, obviously, we weren't able to do that this year, but I just thought.
I heard they canceled. I heard they canceled it because you've won it too many times. Is there any truth to that rumor or what?
That's zero truth to that rumor.
Okay.
I won for the first time, I think, this last year.
Oh, okay. You drafted a good team. I was sitting beside you and cursing you on a regular basis. One before me again, hey James. Thank you.
I mean, it's the best part of that is the draft. Love drafting prospects with you and the other people in that league. But I've spoken about Justin Crawford on the podcast already this offseason, but he was someone that you wanted to talk about right away in terms of rookies for 2026. So take it away with Justin Crawford.
Yeah, well, you look at the Phillies outfield, okay? I'd be surprised if Nick Castellanos is around in Philadelphia to start the season. I think he's going to be moved. Which would then leave basically the Phillies with Brandon Marsh from last year's outfield. Assuming that, Harrison Bader's a free agent, Max Kepler, free agents. I don't see the Phillies going into the free agent market when they got to find a way to get Kyle Schwarber to a contract. And if you've looked at the free agent catchers out there, it redefines the term bleak. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think Victor Caratini and Real Muto are the only, hey, unless you want to toss a dart at Gary Sanchez, which for his defensive prowess. So they've got to spend money, I think, on Schwarber and Real Muto, which I think, in conjunction with the fact that Philly has some holes in that outfield, like I believe they're going to have too. I'm all over Justin Crawford. I think he's going to break camp unless he has a horrible, horrible spring. I think he's going to break camp with a job. What say you, James?
Well, yeah, like I said, I've talked about him a lot this offseason. You're the first person who's come on here and said you think he's going to break camp with a job. I like that call. That would not surprise me at all. The thing to watch with Crawford for me is just like what is he trying to do at the plate against big league pitchers? Because he has power,
yes,
but most of the time in the minor leagues, he was not looking to hit for power. He's looking to dump the ball into the opposite field, get on first base, steal second base, etc. So like that type of player, obviously we've all rostered those guys in fantasy before.
Yeah.
It's about the cost. It's about, how much do you need the speed? But I do think he's kind of going to be, I think he's going to be sort of a bottom of the order, like mostly speed only rookie. I think big league pitching is going to really challenge him to pull the ball, come inside. But I think he's going to steal over 20 bases in the big leagues in 2026. I'm not sure what else is going to come with the steals. But you're obviously bullish.
Yeah, I might be a little too bullish with this comp, but is there potential for Crawford to be to comp him to Simpson from 2025?
Chandler Simpson, yeah.
Yes, a late pick that's going to give you stolen bases, and you're not going to pay for it until next year.
He's this year's Chandler Simpson for sure. And I think there's there's definitely some similarities there. So I like that call. Probably a blind spot for me. Just because Tim, I'm so biased against these slash and dash types.
Right.
But I
love them when I don't pay for them. Okay. It's a different story. It's a different story. Like, you look where you got Simpson last year. Okay. What are you getting? What are you paying for Simpson this year? My interest level this year is not what it was last year. And I'm sure the same will happen with Crawford in redraft leagues if his career comes together in a positive nature. Hey, but I'll pay for it this year. Next year, I probably won't, James.
Yeah, especially this time of year too, because like you said, I mean, like the closer we get to spring training, the more the pieces kind of settle into place, like the price might go up.
And I always like playing the what ifs and trying to take advantage of that to get myself into a situation where I can find a bargain or two. That's part of the game I've always enjoyed. As long as you do it in moderation, you can have success with it. But when you end up with a redraft team that has 40% of its roster under 22, that could be a problem.
So, Tim, you were singing Sandy Alcantara's praises from his finish to the season, but seems like you like a couple lefties coming up behind him in that rotation, and Robbie Snelling and Thomas White.
Yeah, I think Snelling's ready right now, isn't he? What's your take?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I was surprised that he wasn't up middle of September. I thought he should have been up for 2 or 3 starts.
Well, yeah, him and JJ Weatherholt, they should talk at some point in time because both of them, I think, should have been up. But no, I think we're going to see a fair bit of Snelling this year, and maybe in the second half, a couple months in, we'll see White. But 2 great pitching prospects and guys that I'll be looking at rostering in especially Snelling at his current ADP. I'll find room on my bench for Robbie Snelling.
Yeah, Robbie Snelling going, I believe, in like the mid 300s right now. So Thomas White, I think maybe 100 picks after that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the Marlins just always have pitching. I don't know what it is there, but they've just a lot of talent, but Alcantara could get traded, Edward Cabrera could get traded, and then Ryan Weathers, Braxton Garrett, Max Meyer all show up to camp with health question marks. So
I was going to say, if they show up at the same time and they're all healthy, it's got to be a full moon, right?
They'll all show up and they'll get in line for their physicals, and it'll take. So I think Snelling, one way or another, I think they'll have it set so there's a spot for Snelling. I would think.
This next guy, it falls into the opportunity. I liked what I saw last year, and he's somebody that nobody is really talking about.
I love him.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that. I knew you definitely know of him, but I wasn't sure how strong you thought of him. But I think there's an opportunity there for Tanner McDougal. And I think that creates an opportunity for us playing the fantasy game. And in draft and holes, he's going to be a target of mine after pick 45. I'll try and sneak him in late in drafts. And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that, James?
I will have you know that I was the first person to take Tanner McDougal in a NFBC draft because I had to do the unlisted ad. I think I took him in the 50th round.
Congratulations. Well done.
But yeah, he's like you said, opportunity. I look at that White Sox rotation and they're making strides, but like no one's going to stop Tanner McDougal from joining that rotation as soon as he's ready. And just the fastball and the 2 breaking balls, like I think it's enough for him. I think it's just big time power stuff. And and he struck out half the batters he faced in the Southern League playoff start he made. So I just love the way he finished the year. Opportunity's great. Like he's got legit stuff. So I love Tanner McDougal.
Good stuff.
Now, I've also sung Cooper Ingles praises, probably too much for some people's liking.
Not too much for mine.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I'm sort of miffed here. Okay, last year I was all over Baldwin. Okay, after seeing him play in Arizona,
Drake Baldwin,
yeah, and there's a couple other young pitchers I really liked last year, and I ended up with no shares of anybody. Okay, and I was high on them. It just didn't work out. I got greedy in a couple of cases and tried to bump them down a little bit, and it just didn't work. So one of my goals this year is to try and find a catcher. So the next 3 players I put on are all catchers, and it's just a personal thing for me. I want to get a young catcher, and you look at Cooper Engel, 23 years old. He's got a great hit tool. That sort of fits in with Cleveland's organization philosophy. And as I mentioned, that great hit tool is something that Bo Naylor really hasn't flashed yet, to say the least. I like Engel. I think he's got the potential to be a full-time everyday catcher, and he's in an organization where he might get that opportunity fairly early in his career.
Yeah, that I agree with you. I love Engel's hit tool. I think he's the type of player who's going to maximize his power in games. Like he doesn't have a ton of raw power, but like I think he's going to get to all of it. And that thing you said about the catchers last year really resonated with me because like I loved those guys. I thought they were just screaming values where they were going. Like Baldwin, especially the one DC team I had Baldwin on. I had I think I had like Yainer Diaz and Sal Perez too, and I left Baldwin because I had like Baldwin as my catcher 3, Like
Mhm.
I only took 3 catchers, and then I just had Baldwin on my bench for like 2.5 months, and I finally was like, all right, Yainer, you're going down.
Yeah.
Then Yainer was like only good for like the rest, so it's just like one way or another, I was going to be leaving some awesome catching production on my bench. And
Or you could have slid Sal Perez into your corner infield slot, depending on whether you needed one or DH or whatever. But
what I needed was starting pitching, and so those 3 couldn't help me there.
They're not going to help you there. No, if you're getting down to that stage where you're using them for starting pitching, you're lobbying for a 5-by-0 format pretty quick, right?
Right. But I that is like, there's something to be said for just, if you really like some of these guys that are going late, like it's kind of scary to sort of semi rely on guys going that late. But I think there's something to be said for that, and or at least kind of being open to that in different types of builds. And then you also had Joe Mack of the Marlins and Carter Jensen of the Royals. What do you got to say about those guys?
Mac's a power game. Okay. Yep. And again, if you can name both catchers in Miami, there should be a prize for you waiting somewhere, because right now it looks like it's Liam, if I'm not mistaken.
Liam Hicks and
Liam Hicks. Yeah, and I don't
Ramirez, like technically, but
I think there's an opportunity there, and I like the power potential from Mac. And what can you say about Carter Jensen? 404 OBP, 14 homers at AAA. I don't think you really have to be concerned per se about Sal Perez, because Sal Perez, I think last year caught just a pinch over 100 games. I'm looking at Jensen as potentially in a 2-catcher set. I'm looking at him as a number 2, thinking that I'm going to get 50 to 60 games out of him, and I think they're going to be good enough that I want him over some of the number 2s that are available out there in 15-team formats. James, what are your thoughts on Jensen?
Yeah, I would take Jensen over Engel, over Mac.
Right.
Like I think he's like, I look at the Royals roster, and I think you can't really put together their best lineup without Perez and Jensen being in it. So I think they just have Caglione stay in the outfield, Pasquantino, Perez, Jensen at first base, DH catcher, and I think Jensen is I'm so excited to see what he does this year, because he has ridiculous power. Like he hit that one, forget how far he hit that, like 466 or something, but
it just still hasn't come down, if I recall.
Right. Yeah. Like just ridiculous raw power, and was dominant. Not only, he had small sample in the big leagues, but like his last 6 weeks at AAA prior to that, he was just a monster run producer. He's been kind of streaky at times. He's stolen bases at times. He's actually stolen double bases, I think, in 3 years in a row in the minor leagues, although he did stop running basically at AAA. So who knows? Like, he could steal 4 bases. He could steal like 9 or 10 bases. But yeah, I really like Carter Jensen. And then Joe Mack, I agree with everything you said. It's power over hit.
Yeah.
But the playing time, like, he's obviously penciled in or sharpied in basically for them as like, he's going to probably start the most games for the Marlins at catcher this year.
I would think so as well. Yeah. So what do you think of Termarr Johnson? How long does Nick York hold him off?
Oh, man, I don't know, man. Is Termarr Johnson even the guy he's got to hold off anymore?
Who knows? It's Pittsburgh, right? But I think we'll see. I think we'll see some at bats thrown this year at the big league level.
So Termarr Johnson, number 4 overall pick in 2022 out of high school. He has played 133 games total at AA over the last 2 seasons, 0 games at AAA. And he's been totally fine. He just hasn't, he's starting to steal more bases than hit home runs, that's not what he's supposed to be doing. Like, he's supposed to be like a number 2 hitter, like
Yeah.
supposed to be one of the best hit tools since like Joe Mauer and
I thought you were going to say since Nick Gonzalez.
no, like in the draft, like those extremely hyperbolic reports, like those aren't, you're always talking to someone like Callis would come on and he'd be like, yeah, I've got scouts that have told me he's the best prep hitter they've scouted since Joe Mauer. Like, and like that just shows you like the prep hit tool is the hardest thing to scout among amateurs. And Termarr Johnson, he's in pro ball, he's fine prospect, but I don't really see much impact potential anymore, really.
Okay. And last but not least, we have J.R. Ritchie. What do you think of Ritchie and his chances to get 100 innings in, say, this year? Is that being too bullish?
No, I like Ritchie a lot. He's really knocking on the door, isn't he? Hasn't really struggled in the minors that much. Had Tommy John surgery,
right.
but really he's been a very consistent performer as a no doubt starter.
Right.
And we know Atlanta likes to kind of challenge these guys, and we know that they like to run out of starters.
that they do, but
I think he will definitely get a shot. So I think J.R. Ritchie can throw 100 innings in the big leagues this year if he pitches really well and stays healthy.
Cool. And I think that summarizes up my my list of guys that I find intriguing for this year, James. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me that opportunity. It's always fun.
Okay. Well, I just want to, someone was complaining to me recently about I need to say the team names more with these guys. So just to recap, Justin Crawford with the Phillies, Robbie Snelling and Thomas White with the Marlins, Tanner McDougal with the White Sox, Cooper Ingle with the Guardians, Joe Mack with the Marlins, Carter Jensen, Royals, Termarr Johnson, Pirates, J.R. Ritchie, Atlanta Braves. So there you go. Those are Tim McLeod's rookie shout outs after really breaking down all the guys coming over from Asia. Tim, you're the best, man.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure, James, spending time with you, talking prospects, talking Japanese, but talking anything. I missed Arizona this year, but hopefully I'll be back next year. It's like I said, you're one of the best in the biz, and it's always a pleasure. And I thank you for the opportunity to spend time talking baseball with you.
Really appreciate you, Tim, and wish you the best. And definitely hope to see you next year. But we'll certainly see you over video if not in person. But definitely appreciate it. And thanks to everyone for watching. And happy Thanksgiving to those in the U.S. here in a couple days. And I'll be back with another episode next week.